let's get first to clip, I believe it's clip number 3. Bernie Sanders was asked about this at the town hall, the Democratic town hall on CNN last night. And what Donald Trump has done by specifically threatening Bernie Sanders supporters is definitely an escalation, even from the perspective of his already obviously absurd. I mean, it's the fascism and the clown neo-fascist equation. So Bernie's asked about this. Let's see what Bernie Sanders had to say.
There's been a lot of emotion on the campaign trail, and in some cases, unfortunately, there's been some violence. Donald Trump has been on the stump blaming your supporters for some of it. Take a listen.
Look, it's a Bernie person. It's a Bernie. Hello, Bernie. Hey, Bernie, get your people in line, Bernie. Can you imagine Bernie saying that Trump should get his people under control, and they put in these people? And by the way, our crowds are so much bigger than Bernie's, you wouldn't believe it.
Your response, Senator?
I hesitate to say this because I really don't like to disparage public officials, but Donald Trump is a pathological liar. We have never, our campaign does not believe and never will encourage anybody to disrupt anything. We have millions of supporters. People do what they do. People have the right to protest. I happen not to believe that people should disrupt anybody's meetings. But let me say something about Mr. Trump. Some of you may have read just a few hours ago that Mr. Trump said that he is prepared to pay the legal costs of an individual who sucker punched somebody at a recent event. He's going to pay the legal fees of somebody who committed a terrible act of violence. What that means is that Donald Trump is literally inciting violence with his supporters. He is saying, if you go out and beat somebody up, that's okay. I'll pay the legal fees. That is an outrage, and I would hope that Mr. Trump tones it down big time and tells his supporters that violence is not acceptable in the American political process.
Now, obviously, that's never going to happen. We know what Donald Trump is. He's a clown fascist. He's a buffoonist narcissist. And it's been hysterical in many ways. And it has revealed and forced people to get real about the nature of the Republican Party. It's forcing people to get real about the authoritarian streak in American politics. It's forcing us to get real about the profound racism and xenophobia and bigotry that lingers. But the distinction I want to make is that, you know, look, from the perspective of this show, which speaks to a particular kind of audience, we have never for a moment, even as we've been entertained and found Trump hilarious and refreshing at sometimes, I won't deny that, we have never for a moment denied that the man is running a total overt bigot, xenophobic, racist campaign. And the point is Marco Rubio, even though he's all shaken up by it, still won't say that he will not support him in a general election. The point is that this represents the Republican voters and to a great degree. The other point is that, you know, the media has enjoyed Donald Trump as much as we have without, by and large, the censure. I mean, I've seen people get, I've seen Maria Bartiromo get more upset at Vicente Fox using the F word than Donald Trump running a bigoted, authoritarian, buffoonish, ludicrous campaign. And Bernie's calling it like it is. When Donald Trump said, you know, you're sending supporters to my rallies, maybe I'll say some to yours, we all know what that is. That's a threat of violence, and that is an unprecedented escalation.